for you.
And I want everyone on mute. Okay? So whenever you have any questions, yes, you can unmute yourself and you can check with me. If I am fast, if I am slow, you can even tell. You can tell to me about this so that okay, my voice is not clear, guys. What about now? Is it the same? Okay, so let me just connect with my phone. No worries.
Hello.
Hi.
Okay, I can hear you fine. Anu, can you unmute? I think she's connecting again.
Yes, right here. Just give me a moment.
Okay, now it's fine.
Guys, am I clear now?
Yes.
For everyone? Okay, cool. Okay,
All right,
great.
you're on, Anu.
Yes.
Cool.
Sorry?
I've already messaged the another gentleman, but where he hasn't responded me yet, so you can go ahead and start it.
Okay, cool. So let me just share my screen, guys. So I hope you all attended my demo, yes? Yes?
Yes, I did attend it.
Okay.
I request everyone to ask questions, and if you have any, you know, if Anu asks you questions, please respond to that, so she knows that you are able to hear her.
So actually in the demo part, we are actually discussing what is cloud, what's cloud computing, you know, and also the advantage of cloud computing, where you need not worry about any capital investment. You'll have only operational cost. Mhm. And we have flexibility and capacity with speed and agility, where you can concentrate on your core business instead of maintaining the data center operations, and we can actually go global in minutes. Yeah. Now we'll just move forward and discuss about virtualization. So can anyone tell me what is virtualization? Yeah. please?
I'm not certain, but I'll take a stab at it. I guess whatever your business operations might be, you're virtually controlling everything, so you don't have any of the hardware, and you just have apps or software through which you control stuff or operate
Okay,
stuff.
so do you really don't have hardware?
Well, I guess yeah, you have to have some basic hardware to be able to access anything into on a data center.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you for answering. Okay, so let's assume you have a hardware of a server, or you can take an example of your PC also, the one which you might be using it. Okay, they or every hardware will have four main components. One is the CPU, the memory, which is also called as RAM, storage, or disks, and network card. Okay, to interact with the hardware, we have a software called operating system, so that we can interact with the hardware components using the compute power, storing it, and all. Virtualization is basically you will have a virtualization layer. Okay, it can be a VMware, hypervisor, or a virtual box. It can be anything, any virtualization. Okay, with the help of virtualization layer, we can create multiple virtual machines, or these are also called as guest machines with different operating systems. For example, I have two applications. One application will work best on Windows and other one is on Linux. Ideally, you need to get two servers. Mhm. One is of Windows and Linux. You have to deploy your applications respectively, where you need to manage two servers. But here, with the help of virtualization, you can get a single server, you virtualize it, you create virtual machines of different operating systems. And each virtual machine will logically share all these hardware components. And we can define how much compute power and storage it has to or it is needed. Accordingly, it will virtualize it. And these virtual machines might be sharing the hardware components, but they are not sharing the data. Maybe they are on the same server, but they're still isolated. Okay, so this virtual machine also will share the compute, memory, storage, and network as well as with this. For example, let me just give for example with the storage. Let's take I have 100 GB of storage. Okay, out of this 100 GB, it can take a 30 GB, it can take some 20 GB. Okay, and remaining, this can be used another 50 GB or whatever. Okay, it's completely flexible how much storage has to be divided. Okay, because Windows is heavy, it may take more storage when compared to a Linux because Linux is lightweight. Okay, so I just took an example of storage so that you will better understand it. The same way with the compute power also. Yeah. Now, so okay, this is about the virtualization, but why we are talking in the cloud computing part? Because if you are using cloud computing, that means you're definitely using virtualization. Because uh, I said cloud is a data center which was owned by a cloud service provider. Here it can be AWS. Okay, so when all the data centers is owned by the cloud service provider, where the customer don't have physical control over the infrastructure, generally with the requirement with the customer is giving, AWS generally creates a virtual machine and will give access to us. That's how it works. Because you don't have physical control over the hardware. So AWS virtualize it and will give access to you according to the requirement. Okay. So um, yes, any questions?
Yes, can you just repeat the last part where you mentioned how AWS plays into cloud computing and virtualization?
Can you repeat your question?
Can you repeat where you tied AWS into cloud computing and virtualization?
Okay, do you want me to repeat the same thing which I just explained?
Yeah, can you repeat the last part you just explained?
Okay, so what I was telling here is we are talking about the virtualization because if you are using cloud, that means you are using virtualization because I said cloud is a data center which was owned by a cloud service provider.
Okay, so AWS is the cloud service provider. That's what you said. Okay,
Great, great.
thank you.
Yeah, yeah. So if you are using cloud computing, that means you are using virtualization technology. But it is not vice versa. If you are using virtualization, it doesn't mean that you are using cloud computing. It's just because we can virtualize our, the PC which we are using also. Yes, you can just install a virtual box and we can have multiple virtual machines on your PC. But you do have physical control over it. It is not in cloud, right? So if you are using cloud, you're definitely using virtualization. But if you are using virtualization, it need not be that you are using cloud. Now, coming back to our slides. So that's about the virtualization, and we have greater importance in cloud computing. And yes, the cloud service providers, according to the requirement as said, AWS will create a virtual machines and will give access to us. The advantages is that the hardware components are shared, mhm, which reduce capital and operation cost. For example, if I have multiple applications, traditionally I have to get multiple servers if they want to be isolated. But here you can just get a single server and you can host multiple virtual machines. So when I say multiple, how many I can create? It all depends on your use case and your server capacity. If you can get a good server, when I say good in terms of the compute power, memory, and the storage, you can create multiple virtual machines. And we have two types of virtualization. One is a hosted, other one is a bare metal. When I say hosted, you have a host operating system. So it is called host operating system because it is hosting the guest machines. Yeah. And if you are using this host operating system just to maintain the guest machines or the virtual machines, it's good to go for a bare metal case where you have virtualization, a virtualization layer directly on top of the hardware. If you see here, you don't have any operating system as as a hosted one. Okay, so if you have all virtual machines, sorry, um, if you have this virtualization layer directly on top of the hardware, you need not worry about managing this host operating system, so that all virtual machines will completely utilize the hardware components. For example, let's take you have this host operating system, you have to maintain the license. It will also utilize some sort of storage, memory, as well as a networking part. But here, all virtual machines will completely utilize the hardware components. But if you have an application in hosted architecture, sorry, on host operating system, you can go for a hosted architecture. Okay, so nothing is good or bad. It is just, depending on your use case, whether you want to go for a hosted or bare metal. If you have multiple applications and I need not worry about having the host operating system, then you can go for bare metal. Let's take I just have two applications. One you keep it on host operating system, other one is on guest machine, so that you can manage both having a host operating system. Yeah. Anyways, but according to your use case, you can use any one of it. Next comes with the types of cloud computing. Um, Cloud computing is usually described in one of two ways, either based on the deployment model or on the service that the cloud is offering. Based on the service model, we can talk about the infrastructure as service, platform as a service, and software as a service. This can be best explained with the comparison. Okay, so first comes with the on premises. In on premises, from networking till applications, you will be managing. That means the customer will be managing it. Okay, but in infrastructure as service, infrastructure will be managed by others. It can be AWS. And once you get an operating system, till application, the customer has to take care of it, installing whatever may be the middleware or the libraries. Just install it, and then you have to deploy your applications and you can host it, where you get infrastructure as a service to you. You need not worry about having a physical hardware. We also have platform as a service. It's basically for developers. So what usually developers know? Coding, right? They can build an application. So if you can create a platform for them, like for example, if you're a Java developer, if I can give you a Tomcat server, you just deploy your data or upload your data and deploy your application and you can host it. We also have software as a service, where this is basically for end users. You take Gmail, your mobile applications. Okay, so they are giving you a software as a service to you, where you need not worry about managing anything, either the application or the operating system also. So if you are using Gmail, you might not be knowing who has developed it. I mean, unless you Google it, or I mean, you don't even manage anything, right? You just directly use it. That's basically for end users. For example, if I am a Gmail user, I'm using software as a service. But if I am a Gmail developer, I'm using platform as a service. But if I am the Gmail company, I might be using infrastructure as a service. But if I want to manage each and everything, then I might be ending up using on premises. So, whatever it may be, um, the thing which you are using it. Okay, so you'll have all the components. It is just that where you are into. That's it. So if you're developing, you might be here. If you're into company, you might be here. But if you're just using, you might be in software as a service. Okay. Now, based on the deployment model, we can talk about the public cloud, private, and hybrid. So, I mean, if you just Google it, you will get multiple definitions. Let's see what is a public cloud. Um, if let's take you have started your business in 2018 where we know about cloud. Okay, so I have started my business, everything in cloud, where all my client applications is running in the cloud. That means I'm using public cloud. Yes. So public, you should not get confused with the word public here. Okay. So it doesn't mean that the servers are public to everyone. No, it is just that if you're using cloud, that means you are using public cloud. Okay. So private is basically, let's take I started my business in 2010, where I'm not that much confident about the cloud at that time. So I have my own data centers. Okay. So if you're having your own data centers where you have physical control over it, it's sometimes called as private cloud. Yes. Okay. We also have hybrid, mhm, where, okay, I started my business in 2010, where I have my own data center. But later in point of time, I realized about cloud and I started using cloud also. That means you're using public as well as private, which is hybrid. That's a general use case, public, private, hybrid. Let me give you another definition of public cloud in a different sense, in a different perspective. In a single host computer, okay, in one host computer, if one virtual machine is owned by one customer and another virtual machine on the same host computer is owned by a customer too. So if the customers are sharing the same hardware components on a single host computer, it's called public cloud. Yes, you can guess the private one where all the virtual machines on a single host computer owned by a single customer. It's called a private cloud. Hybrid, obviously, you will have another host computer where you have the hardware and then the operating system. You have virtualization layer and some sort of virtual machines on top of it. Okay, where in one host computer, all the virtual machines is owned by a single customer, and in another host computer, the same customer is sharing the hardware components. So maybe he want to go for a critical data, critical application. So even though he knows that in shared it is still secure, he don't want to share the hardware components. Then he's using one host computer, dedicated one, and other one he is using shared one. That means he's using public and private, which is again hybrid. Okay, so that's about the public, a private, and hybrid cloud. So public cloud, where he will be using a shared resources, a private one, a dedicated, what do you call, the hardware, and where in hybrid, obviously the combination of public and private. Okay, so that's about the basics of cloud computing. Any questions so far?
My name is Yasser. I joined 5 minutes late, so I have no idea about the AWS what we started because I got late because of my internet. So far I'm totally blind right now to be very frank about everything. I'm just listening right now. but I have no idea about what is the concept of AWS in the whole, what we have, mean, have to do, what is the part of the AWS to do in the like current situation, and what does it mean and what does it do. So that's why I was not asking the question, because I already late, so I don't know what is the basic
No, no,
concept
no, no.
of AWS.
See, virtualization, you have heard about the virtualization, right?
Yes, I heard from that part, virtualization, but of course I don't know what
Fine.
is US basically do in the current situation and how it works like.
Okay. So, um,
I know I don't
have
want
you
you to
attended?
repeat,
No, 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 no,
but
no. Have you attended my
at least
demonstration demo?
no, I didn't attend
Yeah.
that time.
Okay. 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 Um,
With the class, of course, and I can
no, no, no.
ask
So
you. And
just let me just, yeah, yeah, yeah. Fine. See, this is just a basics where, what is cloud, what is cloud computing, and what are the basic terminology or, the concept which you need to understand before we move to AWS. Okay. So if you have understood about virtualization and types of cloud computing, I can explain about cloud and cloud computing. Just about cloud now. You understood?
yes,
Okay. So see, so cloud is basically a data center. So when I say cloud, it is just a data center, but it was owned by a cloud service provider. It is AWS because we're talking about AWS. Okay. So if it is owned by AWS, how do you access it? You access through internet with pay as you go pricing. Sorry guys, for others, just give me 10 minutes. I'll just wrap up and we'll start with AWS because it's the first session. So we may have such kind of things. So please don't mind.
Us too. Thank you.
No problem.
Great, great. Thank you so much. So what I was telling, a cloud is basically a kind of a data center. Mhm. Whereas it was owned by a cloud service provider. Here we'll talk about AWS because this is AWS training. And if it was owned by a cloud service provider, you access it through internet. And we have seen that they are using virtualization to access it. Okay. So you can access it through internet with pay as you go pricing. That means it's like an electricity bill, how you use electricity, like however you are using, you would be paying it. The same way, we can access the servers in AWS whenever you want it, and whenever you don't want it, you can just terminate it. Okay, so that's basically a pay as you go pricing. And if you're accessing the compute power, storage, application, database, so on and so forth in the cloud, it's called a cloud computing. Okay. So we have also discussed about the advantages in the demonstration. So what you can do is you can go to the demonstration first before you come to the next class.
okay.
Okay. So it is just that we have discussed about the advantages. Okay. Yes, please. Please ask me the question. Guys, I am not, I might be new to pronounce your names. Okay. So soon I will be getting habituated. So it's a Kizar Saida, right?
Yes, yes. Yeah, and I'm on the same page as Yasser. I did not join the demo, but it's a little confusing because I guess it's because of that. When will the demo link be sent out so we can take a look at that before the next class?
Yes. So please check with Rahil. He will be sent you right away.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'll send you the demo links after this class. No problem.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Okay. So the basic concept of cloud computing is this, where a cloud is just a data center. It was owned by a cloud service provider. You access it through internet. So our course is what are the services which are there under the AWS Solutions Architect associate level, and we will be discussing about the services. Yeah, am I clear with the basic concept of cloud computing so that we can move to AWS?
Yes.
Great. So just give me a moment. I'll share my screen. Okay. So AWS, uh, which stands for Amazon Web Services. Um, Before they have started these Amazon Web Services, Amazon used to deliver a physical books to the customers. It's a delivery service. They used to work under a bookstall, where they used to deliver the physical books. Initially, later they have introduced Amazon Kindle, where it's a ebook where we can actually they will be selling our ebooks where you can just go and buy it. Yeah, you might be knowing it. Amazon Kindle. Later, when they are actually gathering millions of virtual books, they were not able to manage the compute power and the storage. So then they introduced three products or three services. One is EC2, S3, and SQS. Once they have introduced these services or products, they were able to manage the compute power as well as the storage. Then they thought, why don't we give it as a service to others? That's how they started with three services. Now we have hundreds of services serving millions of customers globally. Okay, so um, okay, I mean Rahil just has shared the link for demo. Okay, so that's how AWS started. So this AWS, in terms of Amazon Web Services, is a US based company, mhm, which was started in 2006. Okay, now before we start with the AWS services itself, we should understand some sort of basic terminology like regions and availability zones. Okay, so I said cloud is a data center which was owned by AWS, right? So their data centers is built around the regions and availability zones. Okay, so first of all, we'll see what is a region. A region is a geographical area. Let's take the country which you are into, US, North Virginia. Okay, so a North Virginia is basically a geographic location, right? The same way, a region is basically a geographic area where we have the availability zones. Okay, So one or more availability zones will make, sorry, one or more data centers will make an availability zone, and one or more availability zone will make a region. So availability zones are the physical data centers, and region is a geographical area where it is covering some sort of space in the globe. Okay, and as of now, we have 24 regions and 77 availability zones, and this number will keep on changing. Okay, so they will be keep on adding the availability zones as well as the regions according to the customers. We also have a local zone. A local zone is an extension of a region where, let's take, you have customers over here and you don't have a region at this area. So what you can do is, or what AWS do is, AWS would extend its region and they call it as a local zone. In this local zone, you will have selected services which the customers are actually using, so that the customer can access the services in from the local zone with low latency instead of going to the availability zones, just to improve the performance. Okay, and we have only one local zone in Oregon region, just one as of now. Okay, so if you see the global infrastructure, where you see the blue ones are basically the regions and the orange ones are the coming ones. Yeah, so this is a little old one, you might have the updated one again. And let me show you. Okay, just give me a moment. I'll share my screen again. Okay, so this is basically our globe. If I can just click on it, and you can see the pop-ups. So these are all the regions which are there globally. Okay, so let me just go to a region. Let's go for Cape Town, where a region is a geographical area which is covering some space in the globe, where you have the availability zones. The availability zones are the physical data centers within this region. Okay, and in this region we have three availability zones, and the number of availability zone will vary from region to region. Yes, okay, it all depends on the number of customers over there. So let me just go back and go to the other regions. Let's go to North Virginia. We have 6 availability zones over there. This North Virginia is the first region of AWS. We have Ohio, we have 3 availability zones, and we also have government cloud, which is US East. We also have US West. You see? Okay. So our normal people will not have access to the government cloud. Only the government of US will be able to access where they have the sensitive information in these regions. Okay, because might be it was started in US, they have their own data centers for government also. We have in California, we have in Oregon, Canada, in different places. Okay, so I think now it is clear about the region and the availability zones. So Spain, it is coming soon, you see. So if it is yet to be ready, it says coming coming soon. So as said, the regions will be keep on, the number of regions will be keep on changing. They'll keep on adding the regions and availability zones. Yeah, understood. What is a region and availability zone? Everyone?
Yes.
Okay. So understanding about the region and availability zone is very important, even though it is very basic thing. Okay. So you need to ask me about this right now, because when we are discussing about the services, uh, by default, you should understand what is the region and availability zone. And the availability zones in one region will be within that region only. It will not span other regions, because availability zones are the physical data centers within that a country or in that particular region. Okay, so you can just explore more about it from this link. So that's about the global infrastructure of AWS. Mhm. And I said one or more data center will make an availability zone, and one or more availability zone will make a region. And AWS data center will look like this, where we have the layers of a security also. First comes with a perimeter layer, where you have the a periphery, mhm, where you will be having a security guards, intrusion detection technology, sensors, and all. Next, we have infrastructure layer. So here they will be taking care of the backup. What if this server fails? Okay. What if this cooling fan is not working? Do we have a backup? So that's about the infrastructure layer. Next, we have the data layer, where our actually the customer data will reside. So who can enter into the data center? So you'll have multiple layers of security, not these layers, in order to enter into the data center. Okay, so who can access the physical servers inside can be within the data layer. We also have environmental layer, where if AWS want to have a data center in a particular area, they'll make sure that they have checked the history of that particular place. If they have some sort of seismic activities like robbery or natural calamities like the earthquakes or the floods or something like that, so they'll make sure that the place is clear, mhm, in all perspectives, and then they'll go ahead and they'll establish their data center. Yeah. Now, coming to the security. So tell me, guys, if you have your data in AWS, who is responsible for the security? If you have your data
AWS.
in AWS, okay, okay, it would be great if you can answer, everyone.
AWS.
Okay, generally, we say it's AWS only. Okay, okay, cool, cool, thanks. Now, let's take you have your money in bank. Who is responsible for security?
The bank.
Yes, right. Generally, yes, bank is responsible. So, if that is the case, can you share your credentials? Of course, I don't ask, but is it possible to share the credentials?
No.
Absolutely not, right? We don't. Hmm? So tell me, who's responsible for your money in the bank?
Bank.
Okay, so people are still telling that bank is responsible. Is it possible to share the credentials? If it is no, then how bank is responsible? So we are responsible. Okay. So if we are responsible, there is an answer called both. Okay, I'll come to that. If we are responsible, so can you invest in any bank which I show you? Uh, no, right? We usually go for a bank where it has a good name, at least a government bank, right? So then who is responsible? I can come to the answer like both, where we should be taking care of the credentials as a customer responsibility, and as a bank, it will take care of your money. So the same way, if you have, for example, if you are working or if you are an organization, your client data being in cloud is like actually a money only. It's very sensitive, right? So AWS enables a shared responsibility model where AWS manages security of the cloud and the customer manages for security in the cloud. I mean, uh, because your data is in the AWS data center, yes, they're definitely responsible for the physical security. But when it comes to the authentication, like for example, tomorrow if you're creating an AWS account, you should never share your credentials in cookies, you should not save your credentials. You have to type your password every time when you log into your AWS account. That's the first step in terms of taking care of the security of your account. Okay, and AWS insists that the responsibility is shared. I hope it's clear. So going forward, who is responsible? Yes, it's both. The customer is responsible for authentication, giving strong passwords, having good layers of security and all. And AWS is responsible for the physical infrastructure. Guys, please go on mute. Now, coming to the benefits of AWS security, where it will keep your data safe, meet your compliance requirements, it will save money and scale quickly. Next comes with the AWS Cloud Platform. We can access AWS services in different ways. One is through the console part, where you have the GUI. Let's take Windows. You have the GUI where you can access the folders and all, the applications and all. The same way we can access the AWS services through AWS Management Console. We also have the command line interface, like we have command prompt in Windows, the same way. We also have SDKs. For example, if you're a developer, okay, so you can access the AWS services in any one of the programming language which AWS supports. It all depends on use case, what kind of what do you call a scenario you take it, a platform you take it. Coming to the AWS certifications. So these are the possible certifications which you can do in AWS, where we can start with the cloud practitioner, which is very basic one. And we have the solutions architect under the associate. These are course. We also have a developer and a sysops. This is basically for developers and this is for admin part. And we also have the professional one. We have solutions architect as a professional. So where it's basically an updated level, and you also have dev plus ops, DevOps, and a professional. And we also have a specialization like the networking, security, machine learning, big data, data analytics, database, and Alexa skill builder. So if we want to start with AWS, what is the first certificate? Yes, of course, the cloud practitioner, which is very basic one. But if we can ignore this, we can actually go to the AWS Solutions Architect as the next level. It is not me, AWS itself will recommend to start with AWS Solutions Architect, where you get the overall idea about AWS. It's like going for a degree, doing an MBBS, and going to some sort of specialization like heart specialist or brain specialist. So once you're done with this, once you understand about the services, okay, till one level, what you can do is if you are a developer, you can go to developer certificate. If you are interested in admin, you can go for the sysops. No, 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 I want to update myself in solutions architect. You can go to the professional where you get the highest pay here. And we also have DevOps. If you can do any one of it, you will be getting here. And we can also go for specialization. Let's take, I am already working in networking. What you can do is, once you're done with this, you can just directly jump into the advanced networking. Or if you are into already security, or you're working in any kind of emerging technology like machine learning, data analytics, or into database, you could directly jump from here to here, and then you can complete these certifications. Okay, so that's about the AWS certifications and overview of AWS. Any questions so far?
Nope, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. No questions? People who are coming here for the first time, okay, any type of questions, sir? Okay, if it is completely no, I'm good. Great, actually. Okay, so now what we will do, I want you to create an AWS account. Okay, where you need um, maybe your PAN card and your credit or debit card information and your email ID, any email ID. Yeah? Okay, so what you can do is I'm just giving a message in the chat, the URL. So it's aws.amazon.com. So please through login into it. I mean, first of all, you have to sign up. Just go to the URL, create an AWS account. Um, just give me a moment. I'm looking for something to share with you. So guys, I want you to create an AWS account because we will be doing the hands-on for sure. Okay, and here are the steps to create an AWS account. Okay, so initially you need to go to aws.amazon.com where you can just select the create an AWS account. So everyone is on the same page. Guys who have connected from your phone, please log into your laptop and follow my instructions. Please let me know if you have any questions. Okay, so everyone here, so aws.amazon.com, where please give your credentials here. Start with your email ID, give a password, confirm it, and give a name. Just an account name, as up to you.
After this screen, it asks for the account type. I'm assuming we're going for the personal.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Shukran. Yeah.
Yes.
So you have created AWS account?
Well, I went past the first screen where you enter your credentials and give it a name.
Okay,
And
then
it brought
you
me
will
to
be
the
directed.
next screen. It says
Okay,
contact
so, yeah.
information. Yep.
So here you need to go for personal.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can go to personal, where you can give your name, your phone number, country, address, city, state. Okay. So once this is done, guys, I hope everyone is following it. Let me know if you are not. I will. Mm-hmm.
This is Sirisha. What is AWS account name means?
No, you can just give whatever the name you wanted.
Okay.
Yeah. So it can be your name.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like a username. They will just represent you with that name.
Okay.
Yeah. Once you have given that, please go to the next step where you will be giving your contact information, select personal and fill up your details.
We were selecting basic plan, correct?
Oh yeah.
And why we need to enter the credit card information? I'm on that step, so I need to.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Without giving credit or debit card information, you cannot create an AWS account successfully. But when we are doing the hands-on, we will make sure we are doing everything under the free tier. So AWS is also giving a free tier where you can access some services for free for a limit. Okay. So if you are crossing it without knowing or without knowing, AWS will charge you. That's the reason you have to give your card details. But I'm 100% sure that it's 100% sure that you don't get charged if you just have follow my instructions.
So on the payment information, we have to enter our card.
Yes,
Okay.
Me
and
$1.
AWS. Yes. So AWS would debit a dollar according to the country, and it will credit you back again just to check whether your card is supporting recursive feature or not. It will credit you back. So once you have given your account information, you can go to the next step where you will go to the payment. You need to give your credit or debit card information, the expiration, and the cardholder name.
Anu, I'm in the previous page only. So what we have to write for in the company name?
Please go to the professional. You need not worry about giving any company names.
Okay.
If you, yeah, yeah,
Yes, we have to write the phone number and everything. We have to write it.
yes,
Okay.
all fields are mandatory. Yeah?
Yeah, I'm on the step where select a support plan. So
Okay,
it's
we'll come there. It's a free plan. It's a free plan or a basic plan.
so I will wait, right? I will not click.
Sorry, come again.
I have to click that free one, or I will wait for you until everybody on the same step.
You can just click on the free plan. No worries. It's up to you whether you wait it or you click it. That's fine. Anything is fine.
Okay, yeah, it said like congratulations, thank you for signing up with AWS.
Yeah. And guys, you will get a call from AWS asking the reason for creation of AWS account. You can just tell that, I mean, the actual reason which you are here. Okay, they just you want to learn and then in career purpose and all, you can just tell them. Okay, they may give you some sort of instructions. You can just say yes for that. Of course, by listening. Yeah.
Give me a card.
So once you have given your payment information, you can go to the next step.
Give me
Mhm.
1 second and I will be back.
Where you can just sign in. Mhm. And then you will be here to select a support plan where you will be selecting a basic plan which is free. Make sure you are selecting this. That's it. It's like very simple one, like creating a Gmail account. You need to just give all the information which they're asking. It is just that you will be giving the credit card or debit card information also along with it. Everyone done? Any questions so far?
So that step is done already. So after that, what we have to do? We have to,
Okay, so please try to sign in aws.amazon.com. Just try to sign in.
yeah,
Let me know if it is throwing any error or any message.
it's showing me sign in as a root user or I am user. What?
Root user. Root user.
Okay, and then the same credentials.
So everyone done, guys? All the steps? Any questions in the
Give us,
creation of
give me
AWS?
a couple of minutes. Anu,
Yeah, please go ahead. I'll wait. No worries.
Yeah, I already logged in and it bring me to the page AWS Management Console.
Perfect. I want everyone on this page.
give me a couple of minutes. Anu, give me a
Yeah,
second.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, please go ahead. Remaining,
So afterwards, that means select the support plan means what we have to select here.
uh, select this basic plan,
Basic plan that is
which
for
is free,
free.
which is for free. Yeah, please see my screen.
Okay. Okay. Now you have to go to the AWS Management Console means AWS.com,
aws.amazon.com.
Amazon.com. Sorry.
Yeah. So Yasir, have you logged in? Yes.
Yes, I told you I'm on that page where I select Northern Virginia because we are in Northern Virginia, and it shows me
Okay.
all services, build a solution, and there are some other options.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm on that
Shukran.
page waiting for.
Okay, fine. Yeah, I'm just confirming it. Shukran.
Yep,
So,
I'm at the same spot.
so Anu, in the
Yes,
AWS, that means aws.amazon.com, it is showing root user or I'm a user. Which one I have to choose?
root user.
Okay.
Yeah. Saida.
Yes, I'm on that page, the console.
Okay. So Hassan.
So on the same page.
Oh, cool guys. You guys are amazing. So everyone is in the management console? Yes?
Yes.
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 Oh, okay. Perfect. So usually AWS takes 24 hours to activate your account. Mhm. There are few reasons we'll be discussing in the coming classes why it takes 24 hours. So that is the reason we created today, so that by tomorrow, your account would be ready for hands-on. Okay. So as soon as you log in, you will be directed to the AWS Management Console page. Siri, you are in the console page,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
Okay, where you can see all the services from here.
Okay.
And you can see the recently visited services from here, and you can search it. You can see the same information from here and here also. Okay. And if AWS want to notify something, you will be getting in terms of notifications. And under your name, so this is a account name which you have given, which you are seeing here. Okay, so you will be having more information. So here you can see your information about your account, where you can change your password, your billing, everything would be here. Okay, so every time when you log in the AWS account, the first thing which you need to do is go into my billing dashboard, and it should show always zero for you, or the zero INR or the dollars, whatever, it should be zero for you. So every time when you log in, you should do this. Later, in the coming classes, we will be going for billing alerts also, where you will be getting notified for some reason if you forgot something, and if it is charged you will get notified to your mail. We'll do that in the coming classes. That's called billing alerts. Okay, but anyways, if you just follow the instructions, you don't get charged. And if in case you forget, can't help, no.
This is for 1 month.
It is showing for a current month, for January.
Okay.
Once Feb
Okay.
starts, it will show you the for February. And if
Okay.
you want to see the bills, okay, for previous months, what you can do is you can go to bills under the billing. Mhm. And
Okay.
you can see all the services which you have used in the current month, and you can see the bill here, and you can go to previous months.
Okay.
For you, it might be just showing January because you just started with Jan.
Okay. Got it.
But yes, you can just go to the previous months. And guys, please understand, very important. Let's take, I have worked something on December 31st, the last day of December. I have used a service which is not under free tier. For example, AWS will charge me. Definitely yes. Okay. And I have created a service which is not under free tier, and I have deleted also, so that it will charge me only for 1 day. Okay. So if you go to my billing dashboard generally, on the next day, that means on January 1st, you don't see the bill here. You will see zero only because it is showing for the current month. So what you need to do, you need to go to bills, and you have to go to the previous month, and you need to check if you got charged anything like this. If you have got charged for something, what you can do, you can actually see for which service it got charged. For example, I see some sort of billing here. For this service, you need to expand where you can also see in which region you got charged. You can expand furthermore, and it has got charged me for some instance. So I have used few more hours. Okay, where it is giving me 750 hours under free tier, but I have exceeded that, and AWS charged me for that. You can see in a clear way where it got charged and everything. Okay. And once the current month, I mean, for example, December is done, AWS creates an invoice and it will give to you, where you can go ahead and you can pay. Okay. And your information, your card information can be seen here, orders and invoices, where you can just go ahead and pay. Any questions so far?
But why this is very important, like for us to be like create an account and we make sure that they won't charge us, like as we follow the instructions. But why this is important to sign up and do everything to keep in track of everything.
Okay. So in order to practice, in order to do the hands-on, you should have an AWS account.
Mm-hmm.
When you're having an AWS account, we should make sure that we are not getting charged for anything. That is the reason we are actually discussing about the billing. Yes, understood? Did I answer your question? No? Didn't I answer your question?
Yes.
Okay, guys, it's very important because we have given you a card information. Okay, and don't worry. Make sure you don't save your credentials anywhere. The first thing which you need to take care. Second thing is don't randomly create whatever you see under the services. And AWS will not charge you anything. And if you don't want to continue this account after after the training, you can anyways close the account also. Okay, so at the end, if you want to, I'll show you that also. Or you can just go to my account in order to close your AWS account. You just need to go to my account. Let me check. Scroll down completely and you need to enable everything and you can close the account. So it is just that before you close the account, you should not have any unbilled, kind of unpaid for any service. So your billing should be clear. Okay, and then you can close your account. But as said, you don't get charged if you just follow my instructions. Straight away point. So whatever I am doing, everything will be under free tier only. Of course, whichever you are doing will be under free tier only. So you have the recording, you can go through it and you can practice accordingly. And whatever I'll be doing in the class, you will also be doing in the class as a first time. And again, you will be doing the assessment for the second time so that you will remember it and you will be able to crack the interview as well as exam. That's what the plan is. Why we are doing 2 times, it's for that. Hmm? Any questions?
Nope, I'm good so far. Thank you.
Cool. Okay. Let me just share my screen. So guys, every day we have class for 1.5 hour. So it's 8:30 to 10. Okay. I want everyone on mute. So let's start with our first session. I know we just have 10 minutes left, but let me just start because you don't have any questions as such. Our first service is EC2, which stands for Elastic Compute Cloud. The compute represents the server or the compute resource. This server can be any server, like an application server, it can be a data server, or it can be a web server also. The cloud represents these servers are hosted in cloud. And the Elastic represents if you can properly configure, we can actually increase it or decrease it, the amount of servers according to your application demand automatically. But in AWS, we call it as instances instead of servers. These instances are the virtual computing environment. That means so this is an EC2. Yes. So EC2 is a virtual machine. Very simple. Okay. So we will see how to create a virtual machine in the cloud in coming classes. So this EC2 is a virtual machine, a virtual computing environment which supports scalable compute capacity. You need not worry about any hardware upfront with pay-as-you-go pricing. Okay, so now we will do how to create, or we will see how to create an EC2 instance in the cloud. In order to do that, you have to go to your management console. Mhm. And under the services, you can just go for EC2. You can just type EC2 and you can click on the first service. And we'll see what are the steps involved in creating an EC2 instance. So before that, once you give the EC2, you will be directed to the EC2 dashboard where you can see all the services. And one more thing, guys, once you have go to the management console, so here you can actually see the regions which are available for you. Okay, and you can select whatever maybe the region you want, but throughout the course, just select only one region, just one. So I would be sticking with North Virginia. Okay, so I'll tell you why we need to stick with only one region, explicitly you. Uh-huh. So let's take I have created a few services in this region and I have jumped into this region or to California. Okay. And if you just move to California, you may not able to see the services which you have used in North Virginia. Okay. So if you are in California, you might think that you don't have any services to clean up and you can just go for log off. But at the back end, in North Virginia, AWS may charge you if you're still using their services. Okay, so that is the reason throughout the course you need to stick with only one region, whatever it may be the region you choose, just one. I would be choosing North Virginia because we have 6 availability zones in this region. This is the highest number of availability zone which I can see. Okay, and this North Virginia is the first region of AWS asset. And if there is any new service or any new feature which they need to introduce, first of all, they'll introduce in North Virginia. They'll test it. If everything goes well, they will just implement in other regions parallelly. Yeah. So if you are into any region, please make sure you're just going to only one region. Uh-huh. So as soon as you log in, along with billing, you need to take care of the region also. Okay. So now if I just go to the EC2, I would be directed to the EC2 dashboard where you can actually see the AWS resources here. Just still loading, that's okay. And if I can scroll down, here you can see the 6 availability zones which are available and they are working properly. Okay, so now go back and let's click on the instances. I do have a running instance. You can just ignore it and we'll just launch an instance. So the first step in creating an instance is choosing an AMI, which stands for Amazon Machine Image. So this AMI is basically a template which contains your operating system, supporting libraries and applications. Okay. In simple terms, here you are choosing what type of operating system you want for your virtual machine. So you are going to create a virtual machine now. Okay. So you're actually selecting what type of operating system you wanted. So we do have a lot of options over there. We have Amazon Linux. This is the AMI of AWS, which is a derivative from Red Hat. We have Mac OS. We have Red Hat itself. We have SUSE. We have Ubuntu. We also have Microsoft Windows, like we have deep learning also. So if you select this AMI, you will have all the softwares pre-installed, okay, when your instance is ready. Okay, so if you select this AMI for your virtual machine will have all the softwares related to deep learning technology pre-installed. Okay, so we can select whatever the AMI you want. I would be choosing any one of it. Okay, so but you can select whatever you want it, but whenever you're selecting, make sure you see that AMI which is under free tier. You see there are few AMIs which are under free tier and which are not, and you see, so you can select Ubuntu, Red Hat and whatever, but you see here we have few AMIs which are not under free tier. We are not supposed to select this if you don't want to get charged. So like this, I would be telling you which are under free tier and which are not under free tier, and you can choose the things which are under free tier. Okay, so you can see these AMIs under the quick start. Okay, so before I select any AMI, let's explore other options in the left side. Okay, so in the quick start, we have few set of AMIs where you can start from the scratch. We also have my AMIs. So here you can see the AMIs which you have created. We don't have any AMIs, but we will make sure we have one in the coming classes. No worries, we'll do that. Okay, so here you can see the AMIs which you have created. That means the account owner has created. We also have AWS Marketplace, where you can see the third-party products supported by AWS. These third-party products are from trusted vendors like SAP, Zen, Microsoft, and all. And you know what? You can also have your product in AWS Marketplace, but it is just that you have to go to under some process. Maybe they are checking the quality of your product before keep it here. Okay, so these are the third-party products you can use for your EC2 instance. We also have a community AMIs, where when you create an AMI, I said that AMI will be in my AMIs and it is private to you only. Okay, it is just private to this account. But if you want everyone to access your AMI, then you can go to the community AMIs by making your AMI public. And your AMI would be displayed in the community AMIs. You see, we have almost 1,33,000 plus AMIs. So these are all the AMIs were created by someone. They might have modified it. They created their own AMI and they just made it as public. And organizations will never go for community AMIs. No. Okay, because it was a modified version of the AMI. They may not be knowing what are the things which have changed or not. So usually they'll start from quick start. Okay, so tomorrow we will just select the AMI which we wanted and we'll go ahead and we'll see the other steps involved. Yes, guys, any questions so far? And your account also will be ready by tomorrow. Once I'm done, if I'm done, you can go ahead and then you can do it. Yes, please. Any questions? Sorry.
Yeah, you mentioned that an organization would never use a community AMI.
Correct.
So what would be the purpose of adding a AMI to the community? Who might use that?
We can use it.
Okay.
Yeah. So maybe I want others to access my AMI. You can go ahead and keep it in community AMIs. May not be organizations using it, but if I want to practice something, I want an AMI with some sort of software already installed. Let's take a deep learning one. if I want to share to everyone, where I have all the information. Okay, I want to this, go for this. I can select it and I can use it. Understood?
Yeah, so I guess the idea is you can use one without having to create one for yourself.
No, no. Even here you have to select and create it.
Okay,
It's just that it has modified with few services installed, maybe.
gotcha. Okay.
Mm, mm. Any more questions before we wind up the call for today, guys? Okay, I just got no, no. Okay, okay. So, thank you for connecting, guys. So we'll see you tomorrow. Happy sleeping. Good night.
All
Thank
right,
you.
guys.
Have a
Yeah.
nice day.
Thank
Bye
you very
bye.
much for joining in.
Yeah.
Okay. If you have any
Yeah.
questions, feel free to call me after this call.
Okay, will
Yeah.
do.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye bye.
Good night.
Thanks. Bye.